So I want to do another video about how our thoughts influence everything and how tinnitus is the perpetrator of anxiety so much of the time, and how solving the anxiety problem will often solve the tinnitus problem 99% of that problem and 99% of the time, to the point that we have a normal life and we do this thing called habituate, if you want to use that word, but where we just get where every day is okay and we're fine. So let's talk about this conscious mind, subconscious mind, anxious thoughts. A lot of times people who have anxiety are very smart people. So if you're anxious now, I want to compliment you. You're probably a pretty smart person, because your brain is able to make a lot of calculations about what might be going wrong, what could go wrong, and it'll lead you to do research to find out, oh, it could be this, it could be that, it could be, what caused the tinnitus, it's going to get worse, all these kind of thoughts. So the first thing that we want to try to do if we have tinnitus is we've got to somehow get a grip onto solid ground again. Because when you suddenly have this onset of tinnitus, or you have, not just suddenly, but maybe even you've had it for a while, but the sound just gets so there that you're always thinking about it. This is a pattern that has come about, and it can come about very quickly. You suddenly have my shh all the time, and it's not going away. And that brain really works hard to try to figure out a solution. And that anxious thought pattern arises and stays with us. Sometimes people have this anxious thought pattern for many years, maybe even for a lifetime. But it is something that is curable in my view. So, I've coughed a couple of times. If I have the anxious brain, I'm going to start to calculate what could be wrong. I'm coughing. Maybe I've got COVID, right? That instantly an anxious brain is going to kick into gear, and because I've got some kind of a scratch in my throat, there might be something wrong. So this is a habit of moving thoughts toward this type of, calculating what might be wrong. So what are we going to do about it? Well, as I've talked about in many other videos, this is the road to get to a great place. If you can follow this road, you've got to find some things that you can start moving your thoughts toward those things, and get where your brain is busy doing those things. So busy that it starts to forget about these other thoughts you were having, such as the sound. Even now I've got a background noise, and I find that's helpful. I don't need it anymore, but I don't know. I still got my training wheels a little bit. It just kind of helps me not hear the tinnitus, but it's still there. I can hear it, but it's even easier, if I have that. But anyways, let me go on. So, we want to start edging our way into thinking about some other things. So I'm going to take something right here. Actually, I'm going to do a quick Google search for something, just because I want to pretend I'm starting over again. And basic phrases, Spanish. I think a lot of people know Spanish. Okay. Good morning. Buenos dias. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Good evening. Buenas noches. So, can I remember what I just said? Good morning, buenos dias. Good afternoon, buenas tardes. Good evening, buenas noches. Okay, and then I can go on like that. And I'm gonna start learning how to speak Spanish. So I'm getting my brain involved in the learning of that Spanish. Okay, I'm gonna do another one. How to dance the Macarena. Stupid thing, I don't really like this dance. But, you know, I'm gonna learn how to do the Macarena. It's as stupid as it may be. You know, it's something where I've got to get my brain doing something besides thinking about the tinnitus. So we got a boom, tum, 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 shoulder, shoulder, behind my ear, hip, hip, tum, 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 tum. Okay. But, and then plays it on the, so I'm not gonna do this for the whole video, but you see what I did there. You know, I'm gonna learn how to do that Macarena, then I'll do it to music. I did the language. I used to do this drawing here. You know, I found a picture online. This is one of my nice ones. I copied something that I found online, and I got some colored pencils, and I drew this. I've done several things like this, but isn't that nice? It's what Archie and Veronica, and I forget the other one's name. But I got pretty good, like almost real, a little bit, right? But I didn't do it just because I wanted to draw, or I wanted to do the Macarena, or I wanted to learn how to speak Spanish. I did it because my thoughts were dominated by the tinnitus and a couple of other things. I got COVID, and I had some joint pains. I had some pains in my chest, and I was so dominated by these things that I was always thinking about these things. And a minute would not go by where I wasn't thinking about these things, and then I couldn't sleep. And there's a lot of people who, that's exactly their story with the tinnitus, is their thoughts. They have a habit of thinking about it. And you know, you might ask me, well, it's impossible for me not to think about it. And I'm going to tell you, I think it is possible for you to not think about it. But to get yourself into the moving toward the light at the end of the tunnel, you're gonna have to start finding ways to get rid of the tinnitus, to get rid of that, not you can't get rid, maybe you can't get rid of it, but get rid of the thought for a minute, then 2 minutes, you know? And so there's the Macarena again. I'm not gonna do it right now, but you know, go learn the Macarena. As silly as it is, learn how to do this dance. Or learn some phrases. And you might find a few months from now, or sometime, you know, in the future, you're speaking Spanish, you're dancing, you are, what else did I say? Drawing. It could be, you could play a musical instrument, you can sing. Pick a song and memorize the lyrics. That's not easy. Learn the first stanza and then the second stanza and memorize it, and then sing it to the music. Maybe find the karaoke track where you have the music, but you know, you have to sing the words, and you get your brain focusing on these things, and you might find you start to have a happier brain, and it actually wants to do those things. Your brain's gonna say, why didn't you do this sooner? I'm so happy now. So when you're thinking about the tinnitus, catch that thought. And maybe you'll find you're calculating about what might be wrong and how do I solve it, and this is terrible and all this. Nope, we're not gonna do that today. I'm gonna draw a picture. I'm gonna go find a video teaching me how to draw, and I'm gonna follow the video, and I'm gonna learn how to draw the picture. And then I'm gonna have this beautiful thing. You know, it took me a while to So I think I drove pretty good. It's not that great. I mean, you had this beautiful thing. And it's a sense of achievement. And the brain's happy when it does things. You know, the brain's happy when it's like, oh, I did that. I can do the Macarena now. Woohoo! Right? You know. And I can't do it actually. I need to study it. But you see, this is so key to getting where the tinnitus is just nothing anymore. And I know if I were me almost 2 years ago watching my video right now, I think I would doubt that it was possible to get where I don't think about the sound anymore. But I'll tell you, I don't. I mean, I do a little bit, but it doesn't bother me. But if you would have told me that, you know, before, I would say there's no way I could be like that. Yet I am. And I've met a lot of people, same thing. So I really feel like this is such the heart of being able to get in a good place after you got tinnitus. And some of you who have a longer term problem, it may very well be that part of the problem is you haven't quite resolved the anxiety thing. And remember, you know, just one more refresher, the anxiety brain is the one that's calculating what might be wrong, what is going wrong, how do I solve these problems. You know, that's the brain we want to replace. We want to get other thoughts in there, and you may find it's just so refreshing, and your brain is so much more relaxed and happy as you get those thoughts, put them in the back and leave them behind, and move forward with drawing and language and dancing. And it's up to you to write your story. But yeah, best wishes to you. I hope this will help you to get moving where you want to go. Okay, see you.